sometimes people get afraid, and when they get afraid, they're afraid of being vulnerable and risking being hurt. So perhaps they're afraid to fall in love or do something too risky, because if it doesn't work, there might be hurt. But he said, if you do this, it also blocks the energy of your body and can affect your health. And he said, however, if you've done this, perhaps we all have done some things maybe that we wished we hadn't done. He said, don't worry, because you can make a new decision and take a quantum leap to open to love and to unblock your energy, or to open to whatever you desire. And you know that there are examples all over the place of people doing this, opening to a greater good, and having spontaneous healings and all kinds of changes in their lives. He also quoted John Hagelin saying, we're all waves with different vibration frequencies of one universal ocean of consciousness. Again, physics is agreeing with science of mind that there's a connection of everything at the quantum level, and we just say there's a connection of everything. We know that we all live in the one, and we might call that one God or spirit or the creative life force, but it's the essence of life. Well, one more step on my quantum physics journey. I'm still not done, but many of you watched a couple years ago What the Bleep. Well, then there was a sequel to it called What the Bleep Down the Rabbit Hole. And Reverend Dar loaned me her CDs and DVDs, and I watched that. And it was interesting because they showed parts of What the Bleep, like the movie, the story, and then they had lots and lots of explanations of what different things meant by different scientists. And one of the scientists said something I thought was pretty interesting. He said, we manifest what we deeply accept in our life. However, he said the average person loses attention every 6 to 10 seconds. Ooh. So he says we need to focus longer to create what we want in life. And we need to, of course, control our thought. And as Dr. J and Andy Anderson say, think what you're thinking about. Well, you know, I was thinking about that, and I thought, seems to me that people can think about things longer than 6 to 10 seconds pretty easily when they're worried about something, when they're afraid of something. Then they think about it too long. We all have done that some. And of course, that doesn't create what we want. And so we need to focus on what we do want. And there was a little cartoon in the movie showing scientifically why change is uncomfortable. And I won't try to explain that. You know, little synapses or something going into nerve endings or whatever they were. But basically, he said, yes, change is usually uncomfortable. It's scientifically proven. But if we just hang in there with the discomfort a little bit, then soon the place we want to get to becomes comfortable again. Another scientist said something I thought was, okay, this is real easy to imagine. Reality is like unused Jell-O, and we can create the mold. We can decide which mold to put that Jell-O in. So again, it's about consciousness, about being clear on what we want and focusing on that. And of course, in Science of Mind, we use prayer treatment to do this. And remember, prayer treatment doesn't have to be a big, long treatment, although those are great too. It can be as simple as repeating a word like God or love and focusing on the feeling that it invokes. Then we have moved from where we didn't want to be in thought to the thought of God and love and good. Now, many of you know Reverend Barbara leads meditation before the service. And we do teach in Science of Mind that meditation is a powerful, beautiful thing to do, to feel the love and peace and joy, which are attributes of God, of the One, and of us all, awaiting to be experienced. And learning to meditate is a way to quiet the mind and to open to those infinite possibilities. Possibilities we never imagined before, or possibilities we imagined but thought we couldn't achieve. We can take a quantum leap into our good. One of my friends said, many of you know him, Reverend Lacey, if you believe in the principles of science of mind, why do you need to understand quantum physics? And I said that I don't really have to, but being in the human experience, occasionally I doubt. Occasionally I have trouble knowing the truth 100%. So thinking about the scientific proof that quantum physics has revealed just helps me remember the truth I know in Science of Mind, that there is only one God, one good, and all is possible. All is possible to me as I believe with my heart. And so I can choose the kind of life I desire. There's an interesting quote by Ernest Holmes, and he was talking about people doing treatment to change, to take the leap into what they wanted. And he said, it's called Where So Many Fail. This is what he said. The ordinary individual sitting down to give a treatment to his business unconsciously does just the thing that should be avoided. He simply sits and wishes for or longs for something. He might even go as far as to believe the desire is going to happen. And this is all good as far as it goes, but it's not far enough. What we must do is to provide that already having received attitude. This may seem hard at first, but we can easily see that it is necessary. We're dealing with a law, and nature must be obeyed before it will work for us. Just realize that this law is a natural law, as natural as any of God's other laws, and use it with the same intelligence that you would use the law of electricity. Then you will get your desired result. He goes on to say, we provide the thought form around which the divine energies play and to which they attract the conditions necessary for the fulfillment of the thought. When we give a treatment, this is all we have to do. But before we can do even this, we have to get clear in our minds of all, we have to clear our minds of all we fear, of every sense of separation from divine mind, and know that nothing can happen to us that is not first accepted as a belief in our own consciousness. Science of Mind is such a wonderful, powerful philosophy, tool, religion, belief. Some of the ideas, of course, come from the Bible. You've heard often, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Well, it seems like we all have to work on our consciousness, on our beliefs, to keep them in the quantum range of infinite possibilities of good, if that's the kind of life we choose to lead. So think about some of these people who took quantum leaps in possibilities. 4th of July is coming up. Think about our founding fathers. They had a dream that seemed impossible to believe that it could happen. And today we live in an independent, free country. Dr. Christian Barnard had a dream that seemed impossible. He performed the first heart transplant in 1967, and today thousands of people who are extremely ill or dying are leading healthy lives because they received an organ transplant. Martin Luther King had a dream that seemed impossible, but he knew it wasn't, and he changed the world, eliminating hateful laws of inequality. Change is so possible, and it doesn't have to be hard. Now, I don't know about you, but I sometimes feel that divine discontent telling me more is possible. I can lead a greater life than even I am living now, with more love, more joy, more prosperity, more health, more creativity. And as I listen, I think, I know I can take a quantum leap in any area of my life I choose. And I think that's why people do things like climb high mountains, do marathons, write novels, do scientific research, daydream, read fairy tales, watch adventure and spiritual movies, seek love at a deep level, and go out of their comfort zone so that they can be reminded to expect the impossible. Well, one more thing I wanted to share with you. A friend recommended that I watch a Swedish film called As It Is in Heaven. And it's about a famous conductor who returned to his hometown, a very small town, and was asked to help the church choir become better. In the process, he helped people in the choir realize that they deserved and could lead a happier life. One of the people was a woman whose husband abused her. Finally, she had the courage to leave him. And the conductor wrote a song for her to sing as a solo when the choir sang next at church. And I want to share some of the words with you. I want to feel I'm alive, good enough to live every day. I have never lost who I am, only left it sleeping. All I want is to be happy, being who I am, to be strong and free. I want to feel that I live my life. And don't we all want that? To be true to ourselves, to experience our God selves, to be happy and live fully? I ask you to think about when you were little. What did you want then? What did you expect your life to be? Probably you fulfilled many of those expectations. But now it's time to set some new ones, to open to new possibilities. Think about what are your new expectations. Can you make them even greater now that you know that you can take a quantum leap? It's something to think about. It's something to get excited about. It's something to do. Thank you.